So we have a background, and let's make this a double click and then name it sky. And let's see. Okay, and let's create another layer. I'm gonna just use the pen tool real quick and oops. Right. So let's say if you have something like that and cloud, right? Then I'm gonna create cloud. So let's just lock these, right? So we don't accidentally select the layers. You could draw with a pen tool, trace the cloud, or we talked about a blob brush tool. Oops, right. So let's just see the drawing a little bit so by bracket will resize the brush stroke size. You can go to window and brush. Believe you can change the size, but I can't really tell. I mean, you could just select one of these, but bracket, left and right bracket, you can just draw. You have to click and holding down your mouse so that it's one object, right? Like this. So it's good. And let me just see the outline. Yeah, it looks good. I think there's something accidentally created here. I think, is that something? Let's see. So yeah, that's some anchor point. So I'm gonna select and delete. Then let's see, preview. Okay, and let that be perhaps white. Oh, sorry, select and then white. Okay, now let's bring back the background. Transparency, you go to window, transparency, right? And you can just change the opacity like this. Now, you may not like, how it looks. Let's say I can just duplicate like this. You could use, I think gradient could work with transparency too. So let's try that. So let's say if we have some kind of gradient, window, gradient. Let me try radial. Okay, so it does work with transparency. So in this case, we don't want the black, so select that. Where's the color? I'm gonna change to CMYK. What color should that be? Maybe, does that have transparency? Okay, so here, the opacity, this color's opacity, let me just bring it down, see if it works. Okay, good. So as you can see, I'm gonna change this black color to white too, but having opacity like 30% or let me just say 40%. Now my center is close to white, but as it moves out of the edge towards the edge, it becomes transparency. So that's one way to do it. And since I want to, let's say the transparency effect is a little too, let's say too much of an area here, so I can click and create 100%, and this one too, 100% white, and then bring it closer here. See, it doesn't look like it's doing much. Let's see, maybe bring it, no? Okay. Well, doesn't work much, but I guess you get the idea. So the gradient does work with the transparency. So this one, I mean, it is a little more interesting than just a flat color, but you can just use a flat color for our assignment. So again, the transparency is on the window. Transparency, bring out the object and then change the opacity. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. So let's do it again. So let's select white and then so it's just same fill color. Now I finished it. Just want to make sure that it's right. So you're saying like this, right? So if it's Photoshop, yes, you would do this. Now, I don't know if there's a paint bucket, but it's easier. So I think I showed you two different ways. So whatever the object here is, let's see as outline. So it's two different objects as sort of like a compound path or as in one object. So what you need to do is you can release the compound path and then select the inner thing and then delete. So Command Y to see the outline again, or having the compound path. If you don't want to go through that step, then you can just use the direct selection tool or direct group selection tool. But let's try direct selection tool first. When nothing's selected, you can just move over and then hold down Option to toggle to group selection tool and then click the inner path. And it will select only the inner path, whatever that's connected to this line, right? It'll select that and then you can just hit delete. Again, if you want group selection tool, you can just select it from the tool palette and then click and hit delete. So that's another way to do it. Good. And then transparency. Again, bring out the transparency palette, and then of course you gotta select the object, and then opacity. Now, again, these tools are very convenient. Some of the tools that Illustrator provides, but sometimes it creates like unnecessary anchor points, too many anchor points, because for example, let's see, this could have been just the 2 anchor points and then be done with it, but now it's created like a extra 3 anchor points. And for this purpose, it's fine, but as your artwork gets complicated, these takes up it could slow down your computer, depending on type of computer you have. It could slow down your computer, or like, let's say, these anchor points could create a little bump. So like it's a tiny thing, but it could affect negatively for your artwork. Like you wouldn't have a smooth line. So depending on your situation, you might want to just use a pen tool and then have just a simple clean line. Or like this, it's just quicker. So and then the overall artwork is pretty straightforward and simple. So I guess it's okay to use block tool or other tools. Okay. This, I think in our case, I mean, yes, you're talking about reducing path, anchor points and things like that. And that too, again, like could create weird, shapes or things like that. So, if you look at it, it looks fine. I mean, it looks smooth. I wouldn't do much, but again, I'm a kind of pen tool guy, so I will use pen tool to begin with my sketch. So that's the thing. Any more questions? Okay.